opinions. What's today's video about?
Today's video
is a personal one.
It is. It's very, very personal. Why you shouldn't become a doctor. Why you shouldn't become a doctor.
I'm gonna have to let my hair out for this one.
Yo, don't study medicine for these reasons. Okay? Don't study medicine for these reasons. Number one, if you're not completely and utterly passionate about medicine, physiology, and spending half of your life studying and in hospital, lifelong learning, and maybe without the chance of actually making a lot of money, then don't study medicine.
Even if you're passionate about anatomy, physiology, and all those things, that still doesn't mean you should become a doctor, because you can become a researcher and not have to put up with the nonsense you put up with as a doctor. So let's get down to the grit and the grain of what are the pure reasons why you should become a doctor. I think it's best to start there.
That's it.
You're not saying everyone should become a doctor. That's it. I love my job as a doctor. I should have become a doctor. Hey, first of all, anyway.
I love my job also.
But what we're saying is, what are the key reasons not to become a doctor?
Absolutely.
And what are the key reasons to become a doctor?
Absolutely. You need to be willing and to be able to study consistently for the rest of your life. And actually, you need to enjoy studying, or you need to find a way to enjoy studying. Now, we're 10 years into our career now, and every single year there's more blocks that we need to study, we need to read, we need to do exams, and we need to pay for these exams as well. And these exams don't always lead to us making more money or having a better career. Sometimes we just do them, and there's no guarantee of actually passing. You know, there's a pass or fail, and you might fail, and some people fail consistently and end up not having the qualifications that they want.
Listen, I know a healthcare assistant that's making more money than an ST6.
It's crazy.
Because the healthcare assistant's doing overtime.
It's crazy. They're not paying for exams. They're not paying for their GMC license. They're not paying for a whole host of courses. They're not paying for a whole host of things.
Very little risk of litigation, which means they're not going to get sued. Very low chance.
15 years into their career, at the age of 36 years old, at least. ST8 surgical registrars cutting and dicing human bodies to try and save lives.
I'm a surgeon, but like, is it worth it? Alright, cool. I'm going to say why I think you should become a doctor. What are the reasons to become a doctor? Alright, number one, first of all, do you love caring for people directly? Do you love being the key piece in the puzzle that makes the difference, technically, scientifically, and physically, to the patient? Are you the one that chooses the medication? Do you want to be in that role? Because nothing else is going to give you that. Yeah, you can be a nurse, and you can be another role in the health system. You can be an allied healthcare professional, and they all have that caring nature where you're directly doing something to the patient. However, medicine also adds the specific scientific aspect where you have to know physiology, anatomy, and pharmacokinetics, and the full picture. You'll bring everything together, statistics. So if you want to intellectually push yourself and have that rigor, but also have that caring directness, then I think medicine's the way to do it.
Yeah, I think you raised a lot of good points there, and actually I think it's particularly in the UK and actually the world, the line between doctors and allied healthcare professionals such as physician associates, physiotherapists, and even nurse practitioners is being blurred, right? Other healthcare professionals can prescribe. They are clinicians. A clinician puts all these bits of information together and makes a decision. So they are decision makers. But at the end of the day, it's the doctor, DO, that makes the decision at the end of the day.
What comes with that? What comes with the decision making?
The responsibility.
There we go.
You know, the buck ends with you. So it's important to understand the difference there. And I think it's a massive privilege to have that responsibility on you, and actually it's a massive burden as well, particularly when you're making the tough decisions, when you run into resus and someone's about to die, they're doing CPR and they're asking the question, do we stop? Often it's a group decision, but really if you're the doctor there, you're the only doctor there, then actually the end decision, the buck will stop with you.
What did Aunt May say? With great power comes great responsibility.
It does.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
It does.
And you need to enjoy and relish in that responsibility, and it could go bad, it could go good. Yeah. And every day I know that there's a risk that I could make a mistake. It's very, very low risk, but because you're there making the decision, not even just a risk, you could choose the wrong option that makes sense to you at the time.
It can happen.
But
it does happen.
A bad outcome can still happen, and it happens every day to every single doctor.
Completely.
Whether they're Grey's Anatomy, whether they're House, or whether they're just the average doctor.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? And if you're ready to take that responsibility and enjoy it, then medicine's for you.
But in saying that, in everything that we've said so far, we love medicine so much, and actually every single day when we go into hospital, we feel privileged to go in and to practice medicine and to interact with these patients. I think often we get into a rut of working and every day is kind of the same, because you're chasing the next hurdle, so you're jumping over the next obstacle. But actually things completely drastically changed when I started to think of medicine like a poem. Every single day when I see families coming together, when I see babies being born, when I see perhaps people even dying, I think actually this is a poem, and I'm involved in that poetic process.
The only reason why I'm still in medicine, the only reason is because when I'm in that room, when I'm behind that curtain with that patient, it's literally them and me. And when I communicate to them that I care about them, and I think in their mind they're thinking, why does he seem to care about me so much in such a genuine way? He doesn't know me. It's a job. They can see in the media that doctors don't get paid enough in the UK, and he still seems to care about me. And the look they give me, whether they say thank you or not, that makes it completely worth it.
Yep.
You know what? To be honest, I see doing medicine as charity. For me, medicine is actually charity.
Wow. Wait. Medicine is charity.
For me, that's the benefit in my heart that I get. When you give money to like a poor person, or you
It's a big statement, mate.
or you give money online to children in need. Sometimes we're doing it for ourselves and also to help someone. And I guess it might sound a little bit selfish,
Medicine is charity.
but for me, when I'm doing my best as a doctor, when I'm trying my best, I get that same feeling.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm taken aback by what you said, but I get it. I completely get it.
Yeah, and that's why I have to make other side revenue streams online, obviously as a media person, as a business person, and that makes medicine more fun. If I just did medicine,
because you can enjoy it as a hobby.
If I just did medicine by itself, I wouldn't enjoy it as much.
No. You get too stressed and too involved in the whole process. But actually, on top of that, another reason why you should do medicine is because the world becomes a much smaller place. I've traveled to every single continent and most countries in the world through medicine.
The 7 C's.
That's the 7 C's. I'll say the 7 C's, I'm a flying doctor. We're both flying doctors. We get to travel all over the place, finding out about and learning about different cultures,
It's an adventure.
different systems. It's an adventure. And we look at life as an adventure. And medicine allows us to do that. And not just that, but we're useful in every single situation. Every single situation.
Respect as well.
That's it. People
Respect you for no reason.
That's it. Because they
you're a
know
doctor.
you
Okay.
go through.
Alright, Dan, if I'm going to give one piece of career advice, I've thought about this a lot. And anyone I'm speaking about career, I say this, right? Every career decision you make, do the decision that opens the most doors and closes the least. Whether it's the PhD, whether it's the master's, whether it's your first undergraduate, whether it's traveling to this location. Do the thing that closes the least doors. Because you never know how things are going to change in terms of what you want to do.
But in order to be an expert at a very super niche topic, which perhaps you're interested in, you have to close doors. You have to.
But you've got to think about it very hard. As in, you've got to err on the side of not closing doors, then closing doors.
Yeah, but does that not mean that you're going to be stuck in limbo, not making the crucial decisions that you need to make? Didn't someone very wise say, the hardest decisions require the strongest wills?
I agree.
The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
But you still want to go for what you want, but when you're doing it, close the least doors.
I get your point. I'm just saying practically it is hard to do that. But yeah, no, so far we've covered points to the fact that you're going to be studying your whole life. It might not lead to success because things are very, very difficult. It might not lead to money. It might not lead to fame, but actually it's going to be really enjoyable, and you get to enjoy a side of life that very few people get to enjoy, and you get to enjoy the sanctity of life because you see it given and you see it taken away.
Absolutely, and I believe it makes you cherish life. It makes you grateful. Every day you see people in situations and positions that they had nothing to do with, and they're completely desperate in terms of their health. They're completely dying. They lived a very healthy life. And of course, on the flip side, you see some people that made completely wrong decisions every step of the way, but they're still kind of happy.
Yeah.
So it makes you very grateful.
And it's good. It's a great feeling to be wanted and to be appreciated. And often in dire situations, you are appreciated particularly in the NHS, because people will come at their point of need. NHS will always be a special place and always have a special place.
Dan, if you could go back
in our hearts,
if you could go back to before you chose medicine, would you still go back and do it?
100%, 1000%, I would definitely do it. 100%. Yes, it's made me who I am today. It's given me everything that I have today, and actually, it's going to give me so much more in the future. Even if I didn't actually practice medicine, even if I never touched the patient, I would still study medicine. I would still study medicine.
And on that note, I think me and Dan agree with each other. It's the right thing to do if you know yourself and you know what you want out of life.
Know thyself.
Know thyself. All right.
Ooh, twins.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.